Amanda Williams was born on April 18, 1977, in Cleveland, Ohio. She grew up in a large family where religion played a significant role in their lives. Amanda was an active member of the Delta Sigma Theta sorority and took great pride in her two children, who were her entire world. In addition, she had grandchildren and was a well-known and respected hairstylist in her district. On social media, Amanda often shared motivational and inspiring messages, trying to support her followers. She emphasized the importance of personal growth and encouraged people to focus on themselves and their development. The year 2023 was a turning point for Amanda. Drawing on her 25 years of experience as a hairstylist, she opened her own beauty salon in the heart of Cleveland. Despite the high probability of failure during the first 18 months of the salon's existence, 80%, Amanda's business not only survived but thrived. She managed to expand her client base and even launched her own line of hair care products. Amanda proudly celebrated the second anniversary of her salon, enjoying her success in business. Amanda's personal life was also going well. She lived with her partner, 40-year-old Tyrel Edwards, with whom she had been together for 6 years. Tyrel worked at a hospital and had a side job as a food delivery courier. Their relationship gradually developed, and the couple got engaged. On social media, Amanda shared happy moments with her fiancé, including a romantic Valentine's Day dinner and a trip to Las Vegas for her birthday, where they attended an Usher concert. However, despite the outward appearance of well-being, not everything was so cloudless in the couple's relationship. In October 2023, Amanda began to notice more and more alarming signs and was ready to make the difficult decision to break up. Although they were engaged, the couple attended a family therapist. Tyrel had no problems with the law, but his family and friends spoke about instances of physical and emotional abuse on his part towards Amanda. They recalled that in 2019, Tyrel was arrested for assault, and in 2020, a restraining court order was issued against him at the request of another woman who accused him of stalking and threats. According to friends, Amanda was planning to leave Tyrel. On the morning of October 9, 2023, the tension reached a critical point at the house on Sense Drive. Amanda returned from a cosmetology convention in Columbus and did not immediately respond to Tyrel's messages. This infuriated him, and the couple argued all day. In response, Amanda turned off the phone connection on Tyrel's mobile, forcing him to buy a new SIM card. The couple continued to argue in the basement, away from Amanda's daughter and granddaughter, who were upstairs. Amanda repeatedly demanded that Tyrel leave, and he finally began to pack his things. But in the evening, their fight escalated even more, and Tyrel called the police. Within a few minutes, a police car arrived at the house. Near the entrance, they found Amanda's body with gunshot wounds. An ambulance took her to the hospital, where she soon died from her injuries. Tyrel was detained by the police and questioned about the events of that day. He said that during the argument, Amanda grabbed a knife and would not let him out of the room. When she rushed at him, he had no choice but to shoot her 6 times. In the recordings from the surveillance cameras, he can be heard explaining to the police what happened. According to him, Amanda went upstairs with a knife in her hand, which he recorded on video. She snatched the phone and hit the screen with a knife, leaving cracks, and then threw the phone aside. The man said that the woman chased him around the room. He jumped on the bed, and she attacked him with a knife. Tyrel pulled out a gun from under the mattress and fired. He claimed that he tried to calm her down and asked her to put down the knife, but to no avail. Tyrel was released due to a lack of substantial evidence to press charges. The county police and the prosecutor stated that the investigation into the case was ongoing. Despite this, they asked for public assistance and urged people to share any important information. This state of affairs did not satisfy Amanda's family, who sought justice. Her brother Joey expressed his intention to fight for justice, as Amanda was loved by so many people. Amanda's mother could not come to terms with the loss of her daughter and the fact that she was not there with her at the crucial moment. She believed that her daughter was afraid for her children. The mother wanted justice so that she could move on. She stressed that Amanda did not deserve such a fate. Amanda's mother emphasized that her daughter did not deserve such a terrible fate. Amanda's brother, Joey, sought justice not only for his sister but for every woman who has become a victim of violence. The family's lawyer, Ian Friedman, expressed the opinion that no family should go through such suffering. He assured Amanda's mother that she should not blame herself, as she was bravely defending the memory of her daughter. Friedman assured that he would provide the court with all the necessary evidence to reconstruct a complete picture of the crime and achieve justice. Amanda's family and friends launched a campaign on social media aimed at putting pressure on the authorities and getting a more thorough investigation. Their efforts paid off. 23 days after Amanda's death, the police released a press release stating that they had handed over all the collected investigation materials to the chief judge. The judge made the decision to press charges in the case of Amanda Williams' murder. Soon after, the prosecutor's office issued an arrest warrant for Tyrel Edwards, the main suspect in committing this crime. The prosecutor stated that the results of the investigation led them to the conclusion that Tyrel's claims of self-defense were part of a premeditated plan to take Amanda's life. Edwards was charged with aggravated murder, assault, and domestic violence. Despite the issued arrest warrant, the suspect could not be found. Law enforcement demanded that he turn himself in, which Tyrel did on November 3. He was released on $1 million bail. The trial of Edwards began 4 months later, on February 27, 2024. The prosecutor expressed confidence that his investigation had revealed the true picture of the events of that fatal day. The jury had to determine whether Tyrel Edwards really shot Amanda in self-defense or if it was a deliberate murder. During the court hearing, the prosecution stated that the defendant shot Amanda 6 times with a revolver, taking her life in her own bedroom. The prosecutor also noted that the woman had repeatedly asked the man to leave, but he refused. In contrast, Edwards' lawyer argued that his client acted to save his life from the threat of being stabbed with a knife and that this was the only possible way out of the situation. The first to testify in court was the forensic expert, Dr. Ingrid Mooney. She reported that the cause of Amanda's death was gunshot wounds. Although there were 6 shots, 8 wounds were found on the victim's body. The expert explained this by the fact that one shot could cause several injuries. The jury was shown a video recording made by Tyrel on his phone on the day of the tragedy. Gunshots can be heard on it. Amanda declares that she will defend herself, and Edwards urges her to calm down. The video shows the couple in their bedroom. Amanda holds a knife in her hands and orders Tyrel to get out of her house. Then she approaches him and snatches the phone. However, the recording continues, and shots can be heard on it. The prosecutor pointed out that the video does not show Edwards asking Amanda to put down the knife, nor can he be heard warning her about having a gun and intending to shoot. The prosecutor also noted that later in the recording, Tyrel approaches the bed and takes out the gun that Amanda kept under the mattress, while the woman herself is at a distance from him and is not approaching. In court, Edwards spoke about his relationship with Amanda. According to him, they were engaged and planning a wedding. To better prepare for married life, the couple attended a family therapist. Tyrel described their relationship as quite good. On October 9, 2023, the day of the tragedy, Edwards and Williams, as it later became known in court, were arguing in correspondence. Upon returning home, Tyrel wanted to leave the argument in the past, while Amanda insisted that he leave. The man noticed that something was wrong with her. Her eyes were red as if bloodshot. He did not want to go, so Amanda warned him. She said that if he stayed, he should be afraid of her and be on guard. Tyrel said that after that, she went to the bedside table where she kept 2 guns. He took the weapons and carried them to the car. When he returned to the house, Edwards found Amanda talking to the police on the phone. At that moment, he decided to gather his things and leave. It was then, according to him, that Amanda took a knife, and he began to film the events on the phone. In court, Tyrel claimed that Williams rushed at him with a knife, but the video shows her placing it on the stair railing. Edwards admitted that he poorly remembers the details but recalled that at some point, Amanda returned to take the knife again. The conflict between Amanda and Tyrel reached its climax when the woman snatched the phone from his hands. Edwards jumped on the bed and pulled out a third gun from there. He recalled how Williams was hitting the phone screen with a knife and then began to approach him. At that moment, he took out a gun from under the mattress. Frightened, Tyrel shot Amanda several times. The lawyer asked why he opened fire if the argument seemed to be gradually subsiding. Why didn't he tell her he had a gun? Why didn't he ask her to stop? Edwards replied that he did not want to shoot her, that he tried to escape, but she attacked him. However, during cross-examination, Tyrel's testimony changed. The defense attorney pointed out that the sounds on the video are the blows of the knife on the phone. At that time, the gun was already in Edwards' hands. Previously, he claimed that he fired 4 to 5 shots and then intended to call the police. It was then that Amanda's daughter, Tyler, ran into the room, and Tyrel led her out. According to him, he did not want to traumatize the girl, so he did not let her inside. The prosecutor emphasized that Williams lowered the knife before moving towards Edwards. The lawyer argued that she could have returned for the knife when Tyrel was not filming her. The forensic expert noted that the neck injury would have paralyzed Amanda, and she would not have been able to hold the knife. After reviewing all the evidence, the jury proceeded to reach a verdict in the case of Tyrel Edwards. The judge familiarized himself with the forms filled out by the jury and asked the defendant to stand up. Regarding the charge of aggravated murder, the jury found Edwards not guilty. This verdict was signed by all 12 members of the jury. However, on the point of actual murder, the jury unanimously found Tyrel guilty. When the judge read out the verdict, Amanda's father left the courtroom. Edwards was found guilty of murder, assault, and domestic violence. A week later, a sentencing hearing was held. The judge urged those present to maintain order and reminded them that the police were responsible for security in the courtroom. He warned that in case of improper behavior, law enforcement officers would have every reason to take the necessary measures. The judge also asked to turn off and put away mobile phones. The prosecutor took the floor. In his speech, he emphasized that the use of weapons creates dangerous situations for victims of domestic violence. This is exactly what happened to Amanda. The prosecutor read out a message that had already been heard during the trial and reminded how Tyrel muttered after committing the crime, "Why did you take that knife?" Amanda answered this, and her words are clearly recorded on the video, "To protect myself." Edwards insisted that he had never laid a hand on Williams. He told the police about Amanda's actions but did not mention his own. On November 27, 2020, Williams sent a message to Edwards. In it, she wrote how ashamed she was to look at herself in the mirror, how humiliating it was to walk around beaten. In response, Tyrel wrote that he was glad that they were both strong personalities and that Amanda was feeling better. He also apologized for his actions. The prosecutor noted that by doing so, Edwards did not deny what he had done and admitted that he had kicked Williams in the face. Further, Tyrel wrote that he wished they loved each other. Amanda replied that their relationship would never be the same as before. In Williams' phone, photographs of her face taken at the hospital were found. The prosecutor also noted that Amanda's daughter, Tyler, was unaware of the problems in her mother's relationship with her stepfather. On Williams' phone, there was another photograph in which she was with her son, and her face was hidden behind a mask. Amanda did not show the bruises to her family. Edwards was aware of his actions, but in court, he behaved as if he had his own version of events. He claimed that he had not caused Williams any harm. The lawyer reminded that during his testimony, Tyrel said that when Amanda was hitting the phone screen with a knife, she was focused on the device and not on him at that moment. This indicated that she did not pose a threat. In addition, the defense attorney pointed out that Edwards did not ask Williams to stop and did not try to defuse the situation. He had that opportunity, but instead, he decided to kill the woman. The prosecutor insisted on a severe punishment for the defendant. Amanda's family, friends, and work colleagues gathered in the courtroom. They were all filled with grief over the loss of a loved one. Their pain and sorrow were impossible to put into words. Next to speak at the hearing was the brother of the deceased woman. Without holding back his emotions, he said that he and Amanda had grown up together. She was like a mother to him and made him the person he is today. Amanda's brother said that she was special and always tried to do the right thing. He compared Tyrel to a wolf in sheep's clothing and noted that although he was glad to have met him, he now knows how to protect his daughters from people like him. The man called Edwards a cunning manipulator capable of turning any situation to his advantage. Joey could not forgive Tyrel for what he had done. He emphasized that the killer had a choice to act differently, but instead, he did what he had planned from the very beginning. Amanda's brother could not understand how Edwards dared to take such a terrible step. Joey recalled how, during a family dinner, Tyrel asked for his permission to marry Amanda. And although he gave his blessing then, now, after everything that had happened, he considered himself guilty. It was excruciatingly painful for the man to think that his sister's children would realize the full horror of this tragedy. All he wanted was for Edwards to be behind bars until Amanda's daughter was old enough to be able to forgive the killer. At the end of the hearing, the judge noted that no amount of time would help come to terms with this terrible tragedy. He then read out the verdict to the defendant. Tyrel Edwards was sentenced to life imprisonment with the right to early release after serving 15 years. An additional 9 years were added to this term for the use of a firearm during the commission of the crime. Thus, Edwards received life imprisonment with the possibility of release only after 24 years. I look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. Until next time, friends.